say enough about this team, the resiliency, the mental toughness, Super Bowl champs. This will never, ever get old. Give it up for those players right there getting it done. Woo!
First of all, there was a little bit of Howard Dean.
We're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
And Ric Flair with a
yell.
woo!
Yeah. It was a Howard Dean version of the Ric Flair woo. That was Sean McVay from the parade in Los Angeles, the Wednesday after the Super Bowl. And then came the conversation, the speculation, because it was pointing towards Sean McVay staying put, but he had incredible leverage. Incredible. You've got networks who are interested in you sight unseen. There's no guarantee the guy's going to be any good in TV. They were clamoring for Sean McVay. Wouldn't that have been something if somebody had paid him $20 million a year to go to TV and they realized after the first week, oh God, he sucks? I'm not saying he would, but you don't know. We just assume he's going to be good. There's no way of knowing, and it's not like he's going to have a screen test or an audition for that kind of money. He just shows up and they hope he can do the job. But he had the leverage because the interest from networks puts Stan Kroenke, the Rams owner, in a tough spot. And then once the Troy Aikman news happened last week, with him jumping not from Fox to Amazon, but from Fox to ESPN, that created an urgency for Amazon to find someone else, as well as Fox. They both have a hold of Phil now for their broadcasting of games. And against that backdrop, and Andrew Marchand of the New York Post, who's been all over this broadcasting musical chairs, he said McVay and Amazon were getting ready to meet this week. Well, how do you keep that meeting from happening? If you're Stan Kroenke, you go to Sean McVay and you give him a gigantic raise. And it was so strange how it happened, Chris, because this was late Friday, I believe. Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday. The rumors are starting to get out that McVay said no to Amazon and Stan Kroenke's giving him a huge raise.
Yes, right.
So people start chasing it. And McVay goes on the record with Shefty, and all he says is, I'm not pursuing any TV opportunities, and I'm committed to the Rams in 2022. Well, there's a lot more to the story than that. That is the absolute either headline or bottom line. But there's a lot in between. Like, did you have offers? What were they? Do you have a new contract now? How much is it? There's a lot of questions to be asked in the aftermath of this. And I'm pretty damn sure that McVay got a commitment, and it may not be done, it may not be signed, but he got a commitment from Stan Kroenke about how much he's going to make going forward before he said no thank you to Amazon, because why would you give up your leverage, your main leverage, to get the owner of your team to give you more money?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I got to think that there's something in the works, or it already happened, and we'll just find out at some point. You're right. The leverage is, amazing. First off, I mean, he's a star. He's a star among stars as far as head coaches are concerned. He is. Yes, you finally have a team in L.A. that's starting to put down some footprints there to go, wait, we control the city. Let's start building a culture of Rams fans here. So you got that going. Yeah, you got Amazon pursuing Sean McVay, and yeah, you're right. I don't know if he'll be any good, but damn, Sean McVay is one of the best talkers and charismatic people I've ever been around. And then one of the reasons is because his ability to be in front of the room and coach the team and say all these things and really, get his message to resonate to the players on the field. So I'd have a hard time, and he's the kind of guy that I think would work at announcing. So he's going to work at it and not just go hey, I'm just going to show up. I do think he'll do the right things there. So his leverage was phenomenal, to your point. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. And, from all things that I know, he's been underpaid as far as where coaches are. So it's like the quintuple whammy there when you start to break down McVay and the leverage over the Rams. It couldn't be hotter, and I got to think that with the money being thrown around like you've talked about, $18, $20 million a year, and the status of the Rams and what they are as an organization, I got to think that Sean McVay's new contract is going to be up there in that stratosphere. 100%. Somewhere between $17, $20 million. I'd be shocked if it wasn't somewhere in that range.
The owners have got to be pissed at the networks for throwing this kind of money around.
They're got to be all pissed at CBS. They're all pissed at CBS paying Tony Romo. They all are.
That's what started it. Yeah. That's what started it.
Right.
And you could say CBS screwed up everything by paying Romo that much money.
Yeah.
But ESPN paying Aikman as much or more. Amazon ready to throw a gigantic stack of cash at somebody. Fox getting, and I don't know how much Fox is going to pay, but that the market becomes what it is. But this is what I was talking about earlier with Aaron Rodgers. That's why he deserves 50. If people talking about the game are getting between 20 and 30 million a year,
yeah, seriously,
yeah, the best people playing the game,
yeah, right.
should be getting a hell of a lot more than that.
Yeah, I agreed with you there. That definitely doesn't seem right, as far as that's concerned. And again, hey, football, we're gonna watch no matter what. Does a really good announcer change the game? Yes, they do. I mean, there's no doubt. I love listening to Chris or Troy or Tony and hearing their little nuggets and things they're going to say. They certainly do. They add, I think, a little bit of a big element feel to the football game, and I think that's probably what the networks realize. Again, you and I can speak. We grew up in our early years and everything. Madden and Summerall, I didn't even need to see who was playing. If I just heard their voice, I went, oh, a big game's on. And I think that's what these networks are looking for, too, to make it special that way. But, the market has definitely exploded there, and CBS changed it, certainly. And it's going to put some pressure with these top-end coaches and these organizations now in the NFL.
Well, and I could see at some point because the current broadcasting deals, they were hyped as lasting into the next decade, but there's an out after like 6 or 7 years. These deals are going to make the owners more likely to pull the plug and say, give us a hell of a lot more. If you can pay these people this much money, you can pay us a lot more money because they're tuning in for our product. Yes, it's nice to have competent broadcasters enhance the experience, but nobody's tuning in and nobody's tuning out because of who's calling the game. Maybe they'll turn it down. Maybe they'll turn on the local radio coverage. Maybe, whatever. But people are tuning in to see the game. They're not tuning in. I think John Madden would have been the only person that you would make destination TV, but he's always assigned to a great game, so you never even get – that would be the ultimate test. That would be like the old-fashioned taste test, like what is it, Coke or is it Pepsi? You do a great game with a bad announcer and a crap game with a great announcer and see what the ratings are. Not that they would ever do that, but wouldn't that be great to see? That would be the ultimate test because I don't think people are tuning in because of who's calling the game. They're tuning in because of the game.
No, I agree. They are tuning in because of the game. But great announcers can make a great game even greater, or even a game that's, I think, below average or average, they can make it better too, because they can continue, the great announcers, I think, can continue to bring up angles and things for the viewer to think about and digest football-wise, where they go, damn, I didn't think of that, or that's smart, and that to me increases the game. That's where I will say. But, man, shockwaves through the NFL. I mean, damn, you hear John Lynch and the 49ers, and he might be leaving. Whoa, it's a GM of the football team. It's McVay, all that. Sean Payton. Yes, this has become a new – I mean, it's like there's more than 32 teams in the league now. There's 36 teams pursuing head coaches when you break down these, the four networks that go along with it.
John Lynch reportedly talked to Amazon and declined. Fox reportedly considering – John Lynch for the number one broadcast vacancy created by Troy Aikman. There's a lot of different names that have come up for that Fox gig and for Amazon. I mean, even Tom Brady is reportedly going to get a phone call. I don't know what he'll say when the phone rings, but that would go a long way toward making a decision about whether or not he's going to play this year if he accepts $20 million plus per year. And what a way to stay in the public eye and have a great platform every week. You're not as all in as you are playing football. You're still around your family. You've got your summers off. You got 7 months off. And, yeah, you're going to have to do some stuff in between, but not like you do when you're getting ready for a football season. There's a lot of reasons why Brady should consider it. I just don't think it's ever anything he's envisioned doing. But if they're going to be throwing that kind of money at him, maybe you should.
Yeah, I think the money is big time. Do you want to take the time? Again, Brady, a guy that's talking about, more family time and those type of things, enjoying life a little bit. Again, announcing games, it's certainly not grinding to coach capability or something like that. But, announcing games, I mean, yeah, you're going to be gone for a 3-day weekend. If you're a guy that's want to hang around with your kids and do that, that's where, I don't know if I see a Tom Brady doing it. And I think the other aspect is, like you brought it up, I think, before the break with Brady, he's a rolling money train now. To me, I feel like if he just went, hey, I'm going to go sit in the corner for the year. Somebody pay me $20 million. I'm just going to sit in the corner. Companies would be like, okay, can we film you just sitting in the corner? Okay, we'll pay you $20 million. He can do whatever he wants and make $20 million. I feel like he almost, to me, too big for that position. He's gone past that and into another stratosphere.
Well, and that's the other thing that occurred to me this week. There was talk that Amazon wanted to try to get the Manning cast away from ESPN. Peyton and Eli recently extended their stay by a year, so they're under contract for 3 more seasons through 2024. Why not get Brady to do a Brady cast? Why not do that? And he could get $20 million for that, and he wouldn't have to go anywhere. And he'd just be shooting the breeze like the Mannings do on Thursday night. So Monday night it'd be the Mannings. Thursday night it'd be Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady and whoever. Tom Brady and Jim Gray. Tom Brady and Charles Barkley.
It'd be like the Brady-Manning
Tom
rivalry
Brady and Bill
all over
Belichick.
again. Who turns in to watch more? Brady or Manning fans, right? They should go head-to-head on Monday Night Football. ESPN's got enough channels. You put Brady on ESPN News, Manning on ESPN2. Let's see who gets more ratings. Just put all 3 channels on network. Aikman on ESPN, Brady on ESPN News, Manning on ESPN2. Let's see who the hell tunes into who.
Here's the big thing to remember, though. No matter how crazy the money gets, you work for a 3-letter broadcast network, there's going to be a stratosphere of people hearing what you say and seeing you in flashes. You know how it goes during a 3-hour game. You see the broadcasters on camera maybe 2 or 3 times, but you constantly hear them. ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, games on those networks are going to generate a higher audience because there are still millions of people out there who get their TV signals through free over-the-air stuff, the stuff that's floating around that lands in your TV like in the old days.
Come on,
right?
what is it called?
Right?
Yeah,
Stuff.
what's it called?
Stuff.
That
signal.
free
It's
in
signal.
the air stuff.
Free.
Right.
It's free signal. Some of the many waves that are constantly bombarding our body. I was somewhere recently and I pulled up my computer and it was like 50 Wi-Fi networks. Like, do they know that it's safe for all this stuff to be enveloping us?
We don't know
go?
anything. We're humans. We do, and then realize we screw up later, and then try to fix it. We don't know.
But
we don't know anything.
But Amazon, we don't know how many people are going to tune in to watch these games streaming only. They'll be broadcast in the networks or in the markets where the teams are playing. If it's Steelers, Browns, it'll be on the local whatever affiliate in Pittsburgh, and there'll be an affiliate in Cleveland. But for everyone else, the only way you're going to see that game is if you have an Amazon Prime membership and you choose to activate it and watch the game. So the numbers, at least in the early years, are going to be ridiculously smaller, possibly to the point where they don't even announce what the numbers are. That's how small they will be. I remember there was a Yahoo-only Jaguars-Ravens game in London one year, and they never announced the audience size of that game. Never. They delayed it until people stopped asking how many people watched it. So if you're taking the Amazon gig, there's a chance you're playing to a much smaller room than if you go to one of these other networks. And that's a factor that has to be taken into account, too.
No doubt about it. You're right. It does. All right, so, crystal ball, because this is one I am intrigued by this whole Amazon angle and where, these announcers, fall. Aikman going to ESPN was, a shocker. I didn't think that was going to happen. I really didn't. I heard the rumors out there. I still didn't think it was going to happen. What's the crystal ball? Who do you think is going to be at Amazon? Who's going to be the guy there?
Oh, after last week, I got no idea.
I know.
Bob Raceman of the New York Daily News is pushing for the big effort at Amazon.
Oh, well, a big effort would love that. I could tell you that much. He'd love to go back in the booth and start announcing games, certainly. I mean, he likes what he's doing now, but, if they're going to pay the big effort $18 million a year or something like that, I can promise you he'll sign the contract today. He'll do it today, and it'll be done. And I'll come and be a sidekick or something. Damn, for all that money.
Thanks. You would abandon me quickly.
Yep.
But look, we still don't know that it's Al Michaels at Amazon. He's yet to do that deal. He could still go to ESPN with Troy Aikman because Aikman was reportedly the top choice for Michaels at Amazon. So there's all sorts of names in the mix, and I have no idea. And after Aikman jumped to ESPN, I'm not even going to try to guess what people are going to do. I'm just going to sit back with a bag of popcorn and enjoy it.
Yeah, I know you're right. I have no idea either. And it doesn't seem like there's any real rumor or anything tangible to kind of get onto. Sean Payton, I feel like that's died out. I don't know where that goes.
No. Sources close to me tell me that he's meeting with Amazon this week.
Okay, damn. All right. So he's all right. He might be striking up a $20 million check. I know. It'd be interesting to see, but certainly a time or where things are changing in that industry and it's affecting the NFL directly, which is very interesting to see as well.
Hey, after Peyton resigned and the sense emerged that Jerry Jones would go after him a year or two from now, I said, Jerry, if you want him, you better go now, because once he gets a taste of the broadcasting money and the broadcasting lifestyle, he may decide, I'm never going back to coach. Never. It's easy to say now when you've just finished it for 16 years, you'd like to do it again. You've never experienced life as a broadcaster.
Yeah, right.
Once you do, you may say, hey, I'm more visible. When would they ever see me during a regular season game? It's got to be a big platform game, and then it's just me on the sidelines. They never really hear from me. I have a chance to add a voice to help narrate football, to help people understand football. I think Peyton will be really good. I think he'd be great in a booth because he can explain things in a commonsensical and understandable and relatable way. Kind of the way, not to compare him to John Madden, but the way John Madden did. Keep it plain, keep it simple. You got 15 seconds to make your point and then move on. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if number one, he ends up in broadcasting as an announcer in a booth, and number two, he decides, I like this at my age and given the workload, I'm going to keep doing this instead of going back to coach.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.